Where do you look for your words?
I look like in my feelings a lot of times. You know, I look in my feelings. Like
You got a dictionary in your heart.
yeah, it's like that's not the word. And sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't get it.
I bought a big dictionary recently because I write. I like to have a dictionary with me when I'm writing fiction, and I wrote this book, and then I started writing this other one, and I write it with a typewriter. It's very old fashioned.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I wanted to get a dictionary that had a lot of depth to it, because when I'm looking for a word, I like looking at the reference. And some dictionaries have like usage of the word. They give you like, so there was a guy named Samuel Johnson back in England in the early 1700s.
Yeah.
And he was the first person to write a dictionary for English. He just wrote one. He was like, somebody should have it. There was none. There was like lists of words and catalogs, but he came up with the idea, I'm going to sit down and write a dictionary of the whole English language with every word describing the word and giving examples in poetry and literature. And he just sat down and he did it. And it's like this. It's huge. There's 2 volumes, and it sits on my desk on each side of me. And I flip through these big pages, and I read what Samuel Johnson himself, how he described each word.
Was it hard to find those?
I got one on eBay. The thing that's crazy is I want to get a real, like an original, because you can get first editions of that. Yeah, like your guy's pulling up there. That's the birth of the English language. You can actually touch it with your hands. You can actually own that. The first person to ever fucking do this.
So that's the first dictionary ever?
First dictionary and I'm just talking out of my ass. I'm not educated, but this is what I understand to be true.
Okay. A dictionary of the English language, sometimes published as Johnson's Dictionary, was published on April 1775. It is among the most influential dictionaries in the history of the English language. There was dissatisfaction with the dictionaries of the period.
Yeah, there was nothing around.
It's horrible.
And I learned all this stuff about language from it. Like the letter I and the letter J were the same letter. So I, and like when you look at in his dictionary, the letter I is defined. And it says I, when it's used as a consonant, sounds like E or I. But when it's used as a vowel, but when it's used as a consonant, it sounds like J. And that originally, J was just an I with a little tail, just so you know that that's hard I. That's J.
Like this size, yeah.
Yeah, and so when you look in the I section of his dictionary, it alternates I and J. Like it alternates, once some words start with I, some start with J, but they're all in the same section.
Wow.
And it's the same with U and V. U and V were just one word,
I can see
but
that.
they had these 2 different, you know?
Oh, it makes total sense.
Yeah, but when you get to know this stuff about language, it gives you more, you can actually have more feelings if you have more words. But I like your retro approach, which is you're looking for the words in your feelings. It's good. This is a hard, because
you brought me Ingram?
I brought you a hard cover of Ingram.
Let's go.
Yeah, there's an inscription, but don't read it out loud.
Okay, I'm going to say, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that. Dude, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I read this. You sent me, and I still have it inside. You sent me like, it was in this green kind of folder that was really cool. And it reminded me of like, kind of like something that meant something like 25 years ago, 20 years ago, you get a script and it would be and it would be in something, you know, it'd be like in this sort of like green folder.
Yeah.
It was professional.
Binder, yeah.
Yes, it was a binder.
Yeah.
And you gave it to me like that, and you let me read this whole book, dude.
Well, you read a really early version.
Yep, and it took me 2 months to read it because I was like, I don't know what was going on. I was probably, who knows, taking breaks to touch my body probably. But it was awesome. And every time I came back to it, dude, it was just fascinating.
Thanks, man.
And it's a book about a boy who's kind of neglected, and then he has to take on the world himself. Is that right?
I would say, yeah. Yeah, it's about a boy who grows up on that's what it looks like, on a farm, just a shit farm.
Yeah.
And
he lives in a cage, does it? Or in a...
Well, he just lives outdoors. His parents don't let him sleep in the house.
Got it.
And he sleeps in the shed, and he just sits on the porch steps where the animals are. His father, it's one of these farms. His father's got like one pig. He's just trying to get a little extra.
Yeah.
And his parents are very overwhelmed. And his father one day tells the bank comes to overtake the house. They give him a few days. So the father tells the mother to slaughter all the meat, and he goes on the horse and says, "I'm going to sell this horse and I'll come back." And he just never comes back.
Yeah.
So the kid's left with his mother, who's just so weak, and she just tells him, "You gotta go." And he's like 10, and she tells him, "I can't. Your luck's worse here than it would be out there."
Wow.
So and she's just too hollowed out to overcome what's going on with her. And
she probably thinks the best thing she could do to save him would be to send him off.
Get him out there and let him learn how to start taking care of himself. So all she tells him is stay alive any way you can. That's like all of the advice he's given. And he just hits the road. And I started writing it, and I didn't know it's not it's the first novel I ever wrote. I wanted to write novels when I was a kid. That was like the first thing I really wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then I just took so many drugs that I feel like I've burnt my brain out, and it's only now really recovering.
Is that true? You're saying that?
I feel that way a little bit. I used to feel that way, but
were you using opioids or whatever?
When I was a kid, I was doing a lot of smoking a shit ton of pot.
Oh yeah,
and we took a lot of acid and mescaline and stuff like that too. And I don't think that hurts you, but
not at all.
It does take out the linear of your thinking a little bit. But
your life got busy too then.
Yeah, and then I became a comedian, which I always thought was like it's a free form, scattershot, verbal art. So I always felt like it was what I could handle, you know? But I wanted to be a writer, you know? And then I wrote television, but writing TV and movies is more like a blueprint. It's technical writing. Here's what needs to happen when we shoot this. But actually writing something that's meant to be read is what I really wanted to do. And
God, so cool.
Yeah, so I started writing short stories a few years ago, and I got really back into it. And when Ingram kind of like came into my head, I just had this ritual of sitting down every day and asking him like, "What happened to you?" And it was just a story that just kept coming.
Asking the child, the character?
Yeah, like what happened? And I felt like I was taking care of him by like taking an honest account, trying to just be honest and not trying to achieve anything in writing it or trying to, you know what I mean, or be impressive. I just wanted to hear the voice and see what happened, and I worried about him every day because it's a hard life that he lives.
Yeah.
But I learned from him because he kept like just being curious and reporting when it stinks, but not complaining.
Yeah, I mean, there's times he takes on some abuse a couple of times, and I was like, God, it's like yeah, I mean, there's parts, especially toward it, like the later parts of the book, so harrowing. Some you're like, God, why doesn't he know better?
Yeah, he's just simple. I mean, he's not simple like mentally challenged. He just hasn't had any.
Like Dennis Rodman or whatever, or who else I was going to say? That's not fair. Or no, somebody else. Let me think.
Dennis Rodman is anything but simple.
You're right. That's a great. You're
complex dude.
Yeah, he's a fucking Rubik's cube of a man.
Mm-hmm. All the stickers are different. There's not even one color's the same.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even one of those like Indian kids couldn't put that.
Yeah. No. Forget it.
Yeah, that was a bad choice. But yeah, dude, there was times you're like,
yeah,
you feel for him that much, and you did such a great job of making me feel for him.
Oh, thanks.
I can't tell like how I got to know him so good as I'm reading it.
Well, I guess I don't know. For boys, it's this thing of getting thrown out into the world a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was alone a lot as a kid,
and
out in the street just trying to figure out what life is. And you just you're kind of a boy is kind of a microcosm of a human ape turning into a human being. You know what I mean? Like adapting.
Evolution's right there.
Yeah, evolution from the first day of life, especially if you're kind of left alone.
Yeah.
If you spend a lot of time alone as a boy, you're just catch can, and then you go, oh, I guess that's what this is like.
Right.
And some things you get strong at and some you don't. And
And some things you learn from the worst influences too. It just happens to be the influence that was passing through town or that stopped and rolled its window down. It's kind of crazy the way you can get influenced. That's kind of what happens to him in some ways, huh?
Yeah, like there's this one part where he's been working on a farm, like just pulling up corn, and he makes money in dimes.
I know.
Just because it's the first currency that he learned to respect was the 10-cent dime. So he makes them pay him in dimes, and he hides them under a tree. And when he decides to leave the farm, he digs them up and he falls asleep in his cabin. And he wakes up and there's this guy there about to steal his money. And Ingram at this point has a little knife and he's thinking he's going to have to defend himself. He's going to have to stick this guy. But he's trying to figure out, because he's never been taught, is it okay to actually harm somebody for money? Like, is it to defend yourself is one thing, but to defend this thing.
Yeah.
And then it occurs to him that the guy might be a little scared, even though he's bigger than him. Even if it's a kid, like it's not easy to beat the shit out of a kid.
Right.
Like it's no small thing. So
they're resilient. Kids survive all
yeah,
kinds
I mean,
of
you're
stuff.
going to go through something. So Ingram says to the guy, why don't we split it? And the guy goes, I don't have to split it with you. I can just take it. And he goes, yeah, you can, but it's going to be trouble. I'm going to give you a hard time. I'll split it with you now. And it's my money, but I'll give you half of it if we could just split it. And then they look at it and neither of them know how to count. So they got that problem. But I didn't know where it was going. I got to this moment in it where they're in this standoff and I was like, what's his solution? But by following his logic and the way he looked at life without having been taught, he found solutions that I just came to me naturally that I wouldn't have found in life. Do you know what I mean? You just get taught things like you got to defend, anybody fucks with you, you have to hurt them.
Right.
You do, you know?
Let's split the difference.
Yeah. Split them out. I'll take half.
I'll take half.
I'll take half and nobody has to throw a punch.
I stay alive, and also I don't have to feel the pain of if I stabbed you and if I shouldn't have.
That's right.
Which can be just as harrowing.
Of course, you got to walk around in life knowing you stabbed somebody for $100.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's a lot of great parts. Man, it's honestly, bro, it's awesome. It was so much fun to read.
Thanks.
It reminded me of this sounds crazy, but it reminded me of like a real book.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
I feel the same way. To me, it still doesn't add up to me or make sense that I wrote a book. I grew up in a world of books. You look at a book, you're like, well, no, but that's somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody else can do that, not me. And I've tried. I've written short stories and things that have sputtered out. When I got to the end, like when the publishers, I got a publisher, this place, Ben
Simon
Bella.
& Schuster, is that who you're with?
Yeah, Simon & Schuster is distributing it.
Okay.
But the publisher is a company called Ben Bella out of Texas. Really nice people. And when I started working with them and they were going through the book and the editorial part, they said it was kind of curious that I say the end because it's like a Grimm's fairy tale. Like nobody does that anymore. But I asked to keep it because to me, it was crazy that I got there.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I got to the end. And I was just like, the day I finished this, I was like, I wrote a fucking novel. And, if I wasn't me with a little bit of sense that I could probably sell something, I don't know that it gets out. I have no idea. Everybody that's right, I haven't had anybody read it that hates me, so I don't know if it's good. But I don't know. Folks can buy it.
It was great. And I know it comes you can pre-order it now.
Yeah, it's on
September 20th, 20th.
No, November. It's coming out mid-November.
Okay.
But you can pre-order. It's good if people pre-order it because then they'll print more.
Put the ranks up. Yeah.
Get it up there.
Get it up. And look, I'm not even joking, guys. Like I like to read. I really especially for like a young man, like if you've had neglect in your life or you wonder like how a child would start to absorb the world with not even being taught how to be much of a sponge in a way, kind of like, I mean, it's just fascinating. And I was just right there in it. I was right there in it with him. It takes place in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma, Texas or something?
Yeah, Texas.
And so he's just like walking along the highway and these cars are paddling, things he's never even seen.
He's never seen any of it. Yeah.
It's all fucking great.
Yeah, he calls the pavement hard black dirt because he doesn't really know because he grew up barefoot in the dirt and
It amazed me. I was like, oh shit. Somebody can do this. I think that was probably because you and I know each other, and I knew that I know like your comment. I know that, and then I've gotten to know you some as a person. But then to see that somebody can make this, and it's a real fucking book. I have a lot of friends that have made some okay books.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll buy them. I'm not reading them.
Yeah.
But this, I was like,
well,
man.
I love doing it. I wrote another one. I just finished the second one. And if I can make that what I do, I'm going to make that what I do.
Yeah.
Like I see in the, I mean, whatever, when you get a vision of what you want your future to be, you might get 40% of it, and that's okay with me. But what I like is the idea of having kind of like a nice cruising altitude stand-up comedy performing and writing novels, because I really love doing it. And now that I wrote one, and the second one was a lot. It took me much longer. I spent 1 year and 2 months on the second one because this one I was like wanted to finish so that I wouldn't not finish it. But now that I know I can finish one, I feel like I got a flow. It's really fun to do. Yeah.
And do you think it's the most, because all I wanted to be, I think when I was a kid, was a writer probably. Like I love to read John Irving. I loved, once I got into his stuff, it was like so exciting, like all the different possibilities.
Yeah.
And the ways that like, who was that Irish lady that,
Flannery O'Connor.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
God,
what an imagination.
Yeah. I was like, I could be a murderer.
She has this story about a kind of cranky woman who lives alone on a farm. She like runs a farm, and she's just tough. And the guy next door who's black, the N-word, talk about the N-word, Flannery O'Connor, it's like fucking polka dots on wallpaper.
Yeah. Look, if
it's
you like,
everywhere. It's just everywhere.
If you like some soft use of it.
But so in this story, the guy next door has a bull that keeps getting loose and coming over to her property, and she hates it. And it's this you're in this woman's crankiness, and it's really something to be like, instead of like this thing where we watch Karens on YouTube and say that's somebody else. She takes you inside the mind of a very bitter and cranky person who just doesn't like the world she's in. And in the end of the story, it's a short story. The bull gores her to death. The bull gets his fucking horns in her stomach and rips her to pieces.
Oh yeah.
And Flannery O'Connor.
Which some black neighbor males will get sometimes if you leave your wife around.
Yeah, and she dies. And the book stays in her head while she's dying. So you get to it, like you see the lights get brighter, and you see some. I don't remember. I read this for a long time ago. It's stuck.
Greenleaf, it says.
I don't know if that's the one, but does she die with a bull at the end?
One day, Miss May is upset to find a stray bull on her property. She's worried that the bull will breed with her milk cows.
That's it, right?
She blames Mr. Greenleaf, who appears reluctant to confront the bull. Yeah.
There it is. But before she dies, Mrs. May has a moment of spiritual clarity. The story notes that she has the look of a person whose sight has been suddenly restored, but who finds the light unbearable.
Wow.
I mean, what the fuck? And this is the thing. Flannery O'Connor was just a regular person in America. And it kind of one of the reasons I wrote Ingram is because I live in a world, New York City, modern culture, and but this America has always had this voice. People like Flannery O'Connor, Mark Twain, or Harper Lee, who were born in little places, quiet little places. People like you have this kind of a voice where it's not through like Harvard education and like, reading. It's just that the American voice is very eloquent, simple and eloquent. With that sentence I just wrote of hers, that's not a collegiate sentence. That's like someone who lived in an old house and walked really far to the grocery store and had thoughts like that. That's what you grew up in, some parish. People from where I'm from, a word parish just sounds so exotic. It's just a different. You grew up in America, and it made you an eloquent person. Like Abraham Lincoln, he A lot of years of Abraham Lincoln's life, he lived in a lean-to with an open, that he would lay with his family and there was no wall. And he'd see like a jaguar come up and sniff the family, and he would just lay there.
Really?
And then he ended up saying some of the most beautiful things ever said just by opening his mouth.
Right.
I just think that America has that language in it. And I started to hear this kid and I thought, I wonder if I can make a connection with somebody who sounds like that. And that's a humble, I don't know that I did it, but that's what I was trying to